Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'll be sharing these episodes with Nay. We're certified psychic mediums, and this is season 2 of Hello from the Other Side. During the season's episodes, we'll be connecting independently to the energy of a missing child from the United States. All we've been given is a name, a photograph, and the year they went missing. As you watch, you may begin to notice moments where our readings overlap or where similar evidence comes through. We hope that the insights shared today might bring comfort, clarity, or may even assist those still searching for these precious children. At times, you might notice that our independent readings seem quite different from one another. This doesn't mean that those differences should be dismissed. Sometimes the pieces that seem unrelated at first do come together to reveal the whole or different parts of the story. So please remember the information we share is received psychically. It reflects our intuitive impressions and should not be taken as factual or verified information.
So this is a reading for Summer Wells, who is missing in North America. The first thing that's coming up for me here is in this space is the, I think I just had Nonny, Nonny. I feel as though speech was difficult for this little girl because it's just like a very cute name. So perhaps someone's nickname, or maybe it's a nonna or something, but I'm just hearing Nonny there. Also being made aware of living arrangements, being in a home with mum. I do see her riding a little bike as well. It does feel like a little tricycle. And carrying little dolls and things around in it as well. No helmet, just in a yard, so just in a really safe, small space. And I'm also hearing like mum's helper, so and seeing her sort of around the house, sort of toddling along after mum doing all these errands and just being sort of followed like a close little shadow there. Also feel there's a dog around the house as well, sort of medium-sized dog there that she's quite fond of as well, because I sort of see him with his head on her lap, and she sort of pats this dog as well. And lots of fond memories, particularly watching television, and I can see, those fold-out couches, they're made of foam that they give children. It's kind of like a small little seat for a child. I can see one of those and sort of sitting on one of those couches and sort of eating snacks like cheezels or little chips or something like this. She's bringing up bears as well, so I wonder if she lives in an area with bears, but mentioning bears here as well, and I feel it's black bears more so than brown bears being relevant here. Okay, when I ask around what's happened, is bringing up the mother, so mum vacuuming the home and being really busy vacuuming, like doing chores here. I think this is in the home, so mum just vacuuming, and the vacuum's quite loud as well. And then I just sort of see her slip through that front door. But I'm also told this is an unusual behaviour for her. She sort of has a little bit of freedom and is able to sort of come in and out as she pleases, because I feel as though outside the home is, or this area, there is like a sand pit, children's toys, things for her to do out there. So she has that freedom to come in and out as she pleases. Okay, and I do see there for her as well, just being grabbed on the arm and letting out a little squeal as well. I feel as though that's a male that's grabbed her on the arm, and someone quite young, like late 20s there for him. And made aware of neighbours hearing that as well, so perhaps neighbours have kids around the same age, or maybe a little older, and they've heard that noise, that squeal. But also just having children hasn't really alerted them to anything, because they know that, there's a child next door, so it doesn't seem out of the ordinary to them. This gentleman, I feel like he has quite olive skin and really dark hair, medium build. It does feel as though, I'm just looking at the hair on his arms, it does feel as though he might be European descendancy. So like black hair, and yeah, possibly European ethnicity. He's wearing like a business shirt that's been rolled up, and that's interesting. It's interesting because it relates to the reason why he's in this area. I feel as though he's in this area for business, but it doesn't feel as though he goes to work in this area. It's not like he's working next door or something, but it feels as though he may have even attended an interview in this general area and he's parked close by. It's almost as though he's walked past, noticed this little girl and stopped, but wasn't prepared to do anything, but it was just sort of opportunistic. I am getting the name Rodney coming up here as well, Rodney P. And I think there's and a P initial as well there. In terms of what he does as well, or what sort of job he was applying for here, it does feel very salesy. Okay, so someone's selling something. And more face-to-face sales, so that a more retail sort of space, but not being in a shop. It feels more commercial, but as someone who's in sales there, like procurement, sort of business sales. I do feel he heads back to his own car with her as well, and this vehicle is like a white hatchback, so a sedan. There's something about the number plate on this vehicle as well. I feel it might MV may be part of this number plate. I'm also drawn to sort of the colour of this number plate. I don't know if the letters are in red or pink, or perhaps there's part of it's red and pink, but there's something about this number plate that's appearing in like a dark pink for me. And this just feels really opportunistic. He's walked past, he's heard that a vacuum cleaner's going, and it sounds muffled, the door's shut, and so he just walks straight in. And I feel as though, or I'm actually seeing in the back of the vehicle too, I do see Summer crying here as well, and she's got quite a snotty nose, so I don't know if she was really unwell, but just really congested here as well. I feel as though he does drive north of here, so if I'm standing at the front door, turning right there and heading north. I'm getting the initial O here. I do feel as though she's wearing like I can see her in a little tulle skirt as well here. Okay, it makes me aware of pulling over into this really secluded bushland area. Pulling over and then just sort of dragging her. She's not even wearing shoes. Sort of dragging her through this bushland. And unfortunately, this does feel like a sexually motivated crime. I feel as though she bites him as well at some point here. And I feel like there could be DNA still on her teeth. And I do feel in terms of cause of passing there, trauma to the head area. I just sort of see her being sort of thrown against, pushed against a tree there. But this individual, it's like he's not prepared. He wasn't prepared for this. And as a result, he's sort of done like a really poor job at concealing the body. I just feel as though there's like a lot of debris and leaf litter everywhere, and it's almost as though he's sort of hand dug this area, pushed the body and then just sort of covered it up. But it doesn't feel as though she's deep within the ground. I feel as though she's quite high. This area that he's pulled over to and sort of walked down into the bushland, it tapers off, so it kind of goes down. There's a bit of a slope that he's walked down with her. But I don't feel he's walked that far. I feel like he's maybe only walked about 50 metres or so from the vehicle. but it feels very much like national park. I don't feel as though this is anyone's farmland. And that road that he's parked on, like there's people driving past that, seeing this vehicle. It feels very unprepared, and not very well thought out, just very last minute and a very sporadic decision. In terms of motivation, being made aware of, like in his own life, things being really drab and things not going well. And there's just this very sick feeling of wanting to do something that makes himself feel alive, or an excitement, that adrenaline. I don't think he's ever done this before. She's showing me too, and I feel like this is in the back of the car. I don't think this was in the car with her at the time, but she's showing me, I almost feel like I'm looking at a big plastic tub with baby chicks in it. Baby chickens. So I feel this is relevant to perhaps a hobby of his. Maybe he breeds chickens or sells eggs. No, it doesn't feel like selling eggs. It feels more breeding these birds. And they do look like chicks to me. They're little yellow chicks. Okay, I feel like after this event, he drives on, and I feel as though he actually goes to a bar, because I am seeing him sort of slumped over a bar drinking, and I feel as though he's like on his phone looking for news about this missing child, because there's an interest around who she was, and and how everyone's responded. It's a bit of an excitement thing for him. It's bizarre. I feel as though after this bar as well, it's like he just returns home to an apartment that he lives in. I feel as though he has a partner in that apartment as well. They may even be male. There's no children in this apartment, but there is a romantic connection in that apartment. And her poor parents, making me aware of just being in absolute shock and disbelief at what's happened. I feel as though Dad has returned home from work early to sort of join this search effort, and there's just no realization that she's been picked up. She's wandered off. Everyone sort of thinks that she's just sort of wandered off, because I see people sort of walking around the neighborhood and knocking. They're showing me like knocking on neighbors' doors and asking if they've seen her. But she's already been driven away. I am seeing like footage of someone's Ring camera as well, so I don't know if they had footage, but I am seeing people's home security systems having picked this fellow up. And also heard a name came up for her as well. Might have been Carly or Talia. That AR sound there for a name. It's a female's name, and I believe it belongs to a young female as well. Okay, that's all that's coming through.
The first thing I'm hearing is Tennessee. So this could be where she went missing from, the state. I'm getting a sense of like hillbilly home. So I'm seeing a house on a hill or on a mound. There's not much around it, open, and then the house plonked there, like kind of feel like it's Adam's family house. It's a bit uncared for, a bit ramshackle. It's got like a stairs going down the front. I feel like it's dark and cluttered on the inside. There's dark rooms, maybe going, it's like double story, but I feel like it goes down rather than up. I feel like the kitchen is on the far, facing from the front, far right hand side, and then kind of maybe a lounge in front of that. Maybe some rooms off to the left hand side. And then, okay, I'm seeing summer. So I've seen a photo of her, got a photo of her in front of me, little blondie, beautiful little girl, little 5-year-old summer. So I'm getting the indication that she was a little bit of a tomboy, quite fun. Um, that, she's showing me her running along and then falling over and hurting her knees, and she was quite tough, and she was a bit of a tomboy and quite a fun girl. She had older brothers. They weren't like too far away from her in age, though. I'm just seeing kind of a blonde older brother, mm, maybe 13. There's one that she seems particularly closest to. I feel like it could be the oldest brother. He feels kind of protective over her. The family, I'm seeing the mum and dad, they feel kind of a bit larger than life, kind of in character. They're kind of a force to be reckoned with, like not backwards and coming forwards, and kind of largish in stature, maybe as well, definitely not slim. I feel like the home situation, mum and dad, that they both have kind of cracks at each other. It's not like kind of pleasant relationship that she can be kind of verbally have goes at him. She seems like quite vocal kind of lady. He feels like, actually, I feel like they both could be perhaps drinkers, smokers, but depending on his mood, he can get a bit pushy. Maybe domestic violence there. Also, maybe to the oldest child, I feel like he steps in sometimes in different situations. Dad can be a bit erratic, doesn't feel like completely emotionally stable environment. It feels hectic. I'm hearing unstable, feels unstable. She's showing me a tooth missing, like her right front tooth, kind of showing me her tongue through it and having a laugh. So maybe she had lost a tooth around that time. Also, that she had a favourite, it's only a small stuffed teddy bear. It doesn't look anything fancy, but she really liked that teddy bear. And that she had toys down, might be in a basement area or downstairs. It doesn't feel very pleasant there, but she has toys on the floor, like a kind of like a My Little Pony or a Little Pony that she quite liked playing there. That's her spot to play. I'm seeing this is not her father, like a skinny guy, bit rough around the edges, has tattoos on his hand or knuckles. He was an inmate. Moustache, narrow face, short hair, brown hair, maybe specks of grey in it. Looks like his skin's kind of wrinklier than maybe it could be because he's very skinny. Maybe he looks a bit older than he is, actually is just hard knocks. A smoker. So he has a presence at the home. I see him by the stairs. I feel like he's swung by, maybe sharing some drinks and a cigarette. I'm seeing him. I'm getting a sense of the boys, so I don't know. Okay, this is around the time of the incident. Either they were, okay, I'm seeing sun going down, like kind of just going into nighttime, sun setting. Maybe there was a couple of boys upstairs around the region of the kitchen up on that side of the home. I'm not feeling mum and dad around at all. And someone's down playing. So this person's entered the house, but not through the front door, through a side or a back door. Maybe he's seen her. I do feel like he's known to the family, could live fairly nearby. I don't feel like his teeth are in good shape. He's a smoker. There's butts. He's left butts, kind of smoked and put it out with his heel, wearing like maybe blue jeans, blue shirt. Could even, maybe he wears a cap sometimes. Um, I feel like there's opportunity because she's essentially doesn't have an adult around. But if she's talking to him, he might be asking what she's doing, something along those lines. She's like, oh, I'm just playing with my pony. So I feel like she knows him. There's no shock, no surprise. Someone she knows. I feel like she looks at him almost like, I wonder what he's still doing here. I get the indication he's either been like kind of chain smoking or perhaps drinking as well. And he's kind of mulling a couple of things over. There is an indication of him putting his hand over her mouth, and then her eyes are wide open. I feel that she may have lost a shoe at this point, kind of like in the scuffle. So she may have only had one shoe on her foot, one shoe left down there, like a single shoe. He has her kind of from behind, hand over her mouth, taking her out of the side door. Maybe he's taking her further back in the property, like back into the behind the property and to the left. I don't feel like she's being maybe feel like she's giving him a bit of run for the money, kind of screaming, screaming. I don't feel like his intention is very good with her. Maybe kind of a sexual motivation, kind of thinking after, if there's much thinking done at all, just kind of act, react, just a desire and the opportunity, and she's by herself and just acting. He could have been a visitor to the home on occasion. You get the indication he may even be as close as maybe a neighbour. It's still daylight, so the sun's not going down, it's light. Maybe it's getting later afternoon towards more kind of that early evening time, but it's still light. So I'm seeing it as kind of like a dusk, but it still can see perfectly well. Late afternoon, maybe. Pokey's taking her into like bushes, and I do feel like there's kind of marks left on maybe on the ground, or I'm hearing it was easy. She's saying, help me. She's not safe. And she knows it. She's scrabbling and fighting. She's a little fighter. She comes from like the school of hard knocks and kind of knows how to look after herself. He may kind of hit her or try to stop that. There is a vehicle out the front, like light blue, not dark blue, like a pickup truck or a sedan. Feel more inclined that it's like a truck. Might be a 70 in a W S, maybe a O in the license plate somewhere. I feel like he's kind of peripherally known. He doesn't seem like a very upright character, so possibly been to jail before, misdemeanors. She's been carried. Feel like maybe down, this feels kind of prominent and open where the house is, but maybe down from the back of the house facing the road, maybe down the right-hand side of the property. May have been placed in the vehicle. I feel like the vehicle's been moved, maybe just kind of sitting somewhere out of the ordinary or garaged. May have like strangled or had something to do with the neck. So she is deceased at this point. I'm hearing he's a family man, not a particularly upstanding citizen. There is an association with tattoos on a hand as well. He's 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 a bit rough around the edges. I do feel like there wasn't a parent overseeing Summer at that time. Nobody, I didn't feel like anyone was at home, like no guardian. It takes some time before she's noted as missing, I feel like maybe the timelines are wrong. I'm asking her where her body is, and I'm being taken back to the behind the house on the left-hand side, kind of in a tree area. I would think that would be an easy place to kind of locate, given there's a lot of people around. She's saying not easy to find. This person feels like they wore boots, kind of work boots with a good tread on it. There was tread and cigarette butts left at the scene, like maybe DNA evidence that he could be identified. Seeing search parties, the thought was she's wandered off. She's saying she didn't wander off. She was playing in the house. And back to the body in the car. Maybe the body was concealed in the vehicle for a period of time. I don't feel like it's far from the home, which is interesting. I know this case was a little while ago, but I'm getting that there could be still some DNA evidence. Again, I'm getting that she wasn't moved too far away. There was a lot of risk. I do feel like it's in bushland, but not too far within bushland. If there's anything else someone wants to share. There were periods they were left alone. Access was easy. Door may have even been left open. There was issues with the safety issues around the mum and dad. Beatings, I'm hearing. I feel like she was more observing that than on the receiving end herself. There may have been concern with one of the teachers at school who was kind of a little bit wary of her situation. And whether there was a report done or not, I'm not sure. I'm hearing low socioeconomic, making ends meet, other issues within the family. Okay, I think that's all I can get for summer.